A very good evening and a warm welcome to UBC News Tonight on this 4th day of October 2023. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Elizabeth Nakakwani on sign language interpretation. We do welcome you to this news bulletin. Now we start off with our first headlining story. This evening, the Prime Minister, Right Honorable Nabanja Robina, has visited Entebbe International Airport to assess the progress of the expansion works going on there. The UPDF Engineering Brigade started working on the passenger terminal building extension project on April 9th, 2022, following a directive from President Yoweri Museveni. We have the report.
The Prime Minister, while meeting officials from Uganda Civil Aviation Authority led by their Director General, Fred Bamwesigye, and the UPDF Engineering Brigade at Entebbe International Airport, says that she wants to establish the progress of works to act immediately where need be.
Where we shall park the aircrafts in case the visiting presidents come when they are with their aircrafts. Where shall we park them in order for us to avoid any eventualities?
Nabanja says that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is emphasizing Buy Uganda, Build Uganda, Bubu, and that is the reason he directed that UPDF Engineering Brigade take over works. Nabanja says that the UPDF Engineering Brigade has not ashamed the President because they have done quality work and proved the saboteurs wrong who never wanted the UPDF do this work.
We are like engineering brigade cannot manage. This is an international airport. We need to get people who are from international companies to come and do the best work. But the way you see now, but those international companies also come and eventually use our people. We have people who can do some work here. So I insisted that the Army Brigade will do the work.
The project manager of the passenger terminal building extension, Colonel Godfrey Tukamwakira, says the modification of the arrivals is on course, now at 89%, and will be ready by November this year.
From your right honorable, since the directive was given, the President went ahead and gave us 19.6 billion for supplementary and bought equipment. We now need additional equipment of about 69 billion, not to be able to compete with any contractor all over the world. We have our own scaffolds, our own inverters, our own everything.
Uganda Civil Aviation Authority Director General Fred Bamwesigye says that the work going on is good and commended the Prime Minister for constant monitoring and supervision.
The road project of the Chinese, now India, UPDF Engineers Brigade is the biggest contractor here. Yesterday we concluded another MOU for the remaining work. We signed it in the Ministry of Defense. It having been approved by Attorney General. Now we are going to continue working for a further 12 billion work.
Uganda is slated to host the G7 7 plus China summit and also the Non-Aligned Movement NAM summit. The expansion project aims to increase the passenger terminal's capacity from the current 410 arriving and 320 departing passengers to 930 arriving and 820 departing passengers during peak hours. The renovation will also enable the airport to increase the availability and frequency of international flights. Entebbe International Airport is anticipated to handle 6.1 million passengers by 2033.
Candidates from the Najanankumbi faction of the Forum for Democratic Change vying for positions on the National Executive Council NEC concluded their campaign today, seeking support from delegate members who will contest the elections on Friday at the Patida Samaj in Lugogo. Party President Oboya Muriat implored voters to place greater trust in him to fulfill his groundbreaking initiatives. He mentioned that his tenure has been marked by numerous challenges to his leadership.
Enthusiasm ran high among party members who gathered at the residence of FDC President Patrick Oboya in Nigeria to conclude their campaign. The candidates met with delegates from Kampala and Wakiso.
Oye! Buvuma oye! One Uganda! One people! One Uganda!
The candidates made promises to work together, uniting party members and resolving the divisions within the party. These divisions have led to some members, led by retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besigye, breaking away from the party and creating distrust among their supporters.
Wide mobilization, and therefore this one needs we have to have all-inclusive leadership in the party, such that we are able to mobilize from all junctions of the country. So I really request that we balance leadership in the party in good faith. We are not here to fight one another.
We decided to suspend the party president, to suspend the secretary general, to suspend the treasurer general. I said if we don't contest, we shall have endorsed their decision. That Katonga decision. People will brag outside there in the street that even the original FDC people have now accepted our what? Illegal suspension. That will be painful and will demobilize us. And therefore I want to request you grant me this opportunity to serve this one last term. Yes. Just this one last term. To give shame to the people of Katonga.
President Patrick Oboya, who is seeking a second term, urged voters to grant him another opportunity to lead the party so that he can accomplish what he was unable to do in his previous term.
This is concerned. I think this was the best time for it to happen to us when we are going into an election. And so delegates are going to be fully awake of the fact that there is a need for them to know the people that they are voting. There is a need for them to understand the character, the contribution of the people they are going to elect towards the standing of our party.
Amuriat emphasized that his tenure has been marked by numerous obstacles to his leadership, including the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic and ongoing internal party conflicts.
Other means other than the elections to bring change, to mobilize the people, get a critical mass of the people who appreciate that this country has been managed.
Wednesday, all candidates concluded their campaigns, and Thursday, party members, especially the candidates, will be on leave as they prepare for the election on Friday, 6th October 2023. A total of 1,271 delegates will participate in electing new leaders for the NEC.
Budget enhancement for Uganda Broadcasting Corporation (UBC) remains a priority issue that the Ministry of ICT will have to handle with the Ministry of Finance and the Budget Committee of Parliament. The State Minister for ICT, Joyce Nabbosa-Sebugwao, told the newly appointed UBC board members at the opening of a two-day orientation exercise held at 4 Points Sheraton Hotel in Kalolo. We have the details.
In August 2023, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation received some new board members. Following expiry of term of the old board, the new board members had an orientation about the operations of the national broadcaster.
The private sector feels they have to have a hand in this entity, Signet. But worldwide, you cannot hand over an infrastructure that controls the flow of information in a country to a private entity.
During the orientation, the Managing Director of UBC, Winston Agaba, shared with the new board several encumbrances hindering the corporation's performance to meet the expectation of its audience. Amid these challenges, the top management of UBC unveiled business strategies geared at generating revenue for the corporation to be self-reliant moving forward.
As you all know, we have very prime pieces of land around the country, and we want to get serious partners who come on board to make sure that the value that we bring as partners of land Especially, an example would be the famous land in Bugolobi. This is land that is worth more than 25 million US dollars if we were to auction it, or if we were to lease it. Why not? We should be having a twin tower in that place that is the tallest tower in Uganda, and a tower that can house so many amenities.
Among the grand strategies is expanding the coverage of Signet, reclaiming properties of the corporation like land that are under threat.
We are working day in, day out to make sure for that land that right now is not titled, want to make sure that the titles are procured. According to the Deputy Managing Director, Maurice Mujisha, the radio section of UBC has been among the most affected by the challenges associated with inadequate funding.
That the last 2 financial years, UBC hasn't been facilitated with a development budget. It's been very difficult for us to upgrade our equipment, but also sustain the network and the networks across the country when it comes to radio.
Besides the flaws in network coverage, the corporation has also been choking on debts, poor staffing, among other dilemmas at play.
And in the writing by the MD to the President, the issue of UBC is lack of funds. And if there are no funds, of course, you cannot actually live to the expectations of your staff.
Dr. James Tumusime, the incumbent board chairman of UBC, says engagements with the government are ongoing to address challenges facing the national broadcaster. Tumusime, however, decried the bureaucracy in some government ministries, which sometimes delays implementation of certain projects at the national broadcaster.
We want more innovations in how we are going to utilize our land, how we are going to train our human resource, how we are going to retain them, how we are going to take advantage of the goodwill in the government towards UBC.
The State Minister for ICT, Joyce Bugwao, who officiated at the opening of the orientation of the new board members, pledged the government's commitment to addressing particularly poor funding of the corporation.
To do everything possible to make sure that UBC gets enough money and be facilitated, because it's the best TV so far we have in the country. It covers all areas.
Uganda Broadcasting Corporation has 4 televisions and 11 radio stations. Susan Naong and Kenneth Tana reporting for UBC TV.
Now, after 7 years of confinement in Kampala, King Charles Wesley Mumbere of the Rwenzururu Kingdom has departed for Kasese this morning. Mumbere left his residence in Muyenga at approximately 10:30 a.m. and was driven to Entebbe International Airport before boarding the flight to Kasese. Now, our reporter Philip Aguda has more on this story.
At 10:30 a.m., King Charles Wesley Mumbere emerged from his house. Meanwhile, a convoy of vehicles with heightened security awaited the king at his residence in Muyenga, a Kampala suburb. The king has been confined in this house and restricted from returning to his kingdom in Kasese for the past 7 years. He granted a brief interview to UBC before departing.
Finally, here leaving Muyenga residence after 7 years of not being allowed to step out of Kampala, and we are here at Muyenga where he has been for 7 years, but he's now setting off right now to his subjects, to go and see his subjects in Your Majesty, can you give us a word? After 7 years of not being allowing to leave Kampala, how does it feel that today you have been allowed to go and see your subjects in Kasese?
Of course, I feel great to go home. You know, home is home. And I think I have prepared the speech which I'm going to deliver to the kingdom and the Banyarwenzururu, no more to the country as a whole. So I don't have much to say here, but all of what I can say, I have a great happiness in my heart. And everybody in the Banyarwenzururu there, you see how excited they are. Yeah, it is a new chapter.
I know it has been a hard moment to live in one place for 7 years, isn't it?
Of course, it is not easy. It is terrible. It is very regrettable. Thank you.
Okay, we wish you all the best. From Muyenga, the king was driven through Gawa Road to Munyonyo Express and then to Entebbe International Airport. He and his entourage were flown in privately chartered plane to Kasese at midday. The government was represented by the State Minister for Culture, Peace Mutuzo, who stated that the government will continue to collaborate with the kingdom.
We are honored and happy that Musenga or Charles Mumbere Wesley is returning back home after 7 years of stay away from home. And the central government has had a number of discussions with him and the kingdom. We are now at the time of jubilation when we are delivering him back to the kingdom, and we want to request people to stay calm. All the other matters are into discussions, so please let's be careful not to hurt the progress that we have made so far between the Obusenga, Barwenzururu, and the central government. We need to work together.
Rwenzururu Kingdom had disputes with the government in 2016 when the government accused them of terrorism, treason, and murder of police officers. The king and 208 of his subjects were arrested and approximately 100 of the subjects were killed. After the Director of Public Prosecutions drops all charges against them, the king and his subjects have now been set free. Philip Aguta, UBC News in Kampala.
Now, the king of Rwenzururu is back home after 7 years of incarceration with his subjects. The king, in company of his family, landed at Kasese airstrip aboard a private jet where he was received by kingdom officials, leaders of the central government and legislators. The Minister of State for Gender and Culture, Peace Mutuzo, represented the head of state and pledged support to the kingdom to promote unity and government programs. Take a look.
The king of Rwenzururu, Charles Wesley Mumbere, has finally returned home after nearly 7 years in prison on charges of terrorism, attempted murder, aggravated robbery and malicious damage. These charges were withdrawn by the Director of Public Prosecution after government accorded the king and over 200 subjects amnesty. Now, this meant that all the charges against these people were actually forgiven. I have also learnt that the king and other subjects were given certificates of amnesty, which signifies that they will not involve themselves in any other crime. Now, amnesty is only accorded once, and if breached, there is nothing like second chance. Now, today, many people in the Rwenzori and Rwenzururu region were actually excited to receive the king, and this is what transpired.
Thanks to God and also to government of Uganda under the wise leadership of our beloved President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for dropping all the charges against you and your subjects that were arrested and detained close to 7 years. We, the people of Kasese, are so grateful to government and the courts of law for this gesture. We appreciate this gesture of forgiving and reconciliation by government.
Nawe President Museveni antumire ngutuongere kukwataniza mukuombeka obumu, mukuombeka enkurakurana, tuhindure entekereza ebinyuma eyokurwana n'obutekeraniza ebi byona bihoireho. Mumbere neja kuba narindwa abantu abakugu abatrainingirwa government kandi na hati ataha narindwa kurungi. Nitwenda kubasaba ngo turinde eteka nkayitwasanga hano nitwenda egumizemu mu maiso nuko abana baitu n'abaicukuru baitu barora obumu n'enkorakorana n'enkwatanisha government na obusinga bwa Rwenzururu hamwe n'abantu abakasesa bona abanyakuri mu politics abari mu dini n'abanyakuri mu byobuhangwa.
First of all, of course, I have to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, Oyungi Raia, and the very method you see so that who can be released and gain freedom. President Museveni kukamusima kutsibu abwe langera ndekiki raia salaka and tukiki raia and ni kwa ntukalukawa narukana nongariri sima munywa ni wa itune General Salim Saleh.
Now that the king of Obusinga Rwenzururu has been received in Kasese district, his subjects are optimistic about the forthcoming coronation ceremony slated to be held on the 19th of November 2023. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Kasese district.
Kando Mulukonzo tukavu ati muzei President Jerry Kaguta Museveni wasinja kutsibu abo Musinga. And in English it means thank you President Yoweri Museveni for the Musinga. UBC News Tonight does continue. Police have issued a stern warning to the public, cautioning them against participating in the organized procession by the National Unity Platform, NUP, to welcome their party president from abroad. Now, this event is scheduled for tomorrow, the 5th of October 2023. The spokesperson for the Kampala Metropolitan Police, Patrick Onyango, has confirmed that extensive deployment by various security agencies is in place to counter any potential and lawful activities associated with this procession. Additionally, individuals working and presiding along Entebbe Road have been assured of security to ensure normal business operations. Furthermore, the police are actively investigating and apprehending certain ringleaders involved in the mobilization efforts for this welcoming event. Take a look.
Joint security agencies have received the credible intelligence information that there are political activists, especially from the National Unity Platform, who are rallying and mobilizing members of the public to proceed to Entebbe International Airport on 5th of October 2023 to welcome the National Unity Platform President, Honorable Robert Chagulanyi, from abroad. The organizers of the alleged welcome event intend to make a procession from Entebbe International Airport through Chitoro, Katabi, Chitala, Chitende, Kajansi, Luboa, through the CBD, Kalerwe, up to Magere, Kasangati. Upon members of the organizers to halt their planned procession because it is non-regulated. This non-regulated activity can disrupt business along Entebbe Highway up to Gayaza. In future, the organizers have such plans they should always harmonize their activities with the police.
The RCC of Kampala and the Metropolitan, along with her deputy RCCs, Anderson Burora of Rubaga Division, Yasin Ndibe of Kawempe, Mark Belingana of Makinde Division, and Kate, the new deputy RCC of Kampala Central, have issued statements regarding the alleged return of NUP party president Robert Kyagulanyi from abroad into the country. Now, the RCCs expressed concerns that his return should not disrupt the daily activities in the city and disturb the peace of citizens in the country.
While the public has been informed about the march through social media channels, the security authorities responsible have not been informed about a procession to and from Entebbe Airport. Instead, the RCC Central Division Amina Lukanga advises the public to welcome him from his home in Magere.
Be informed that as security, we don't have that planning. We have not prepared for that marching. Please stay where you are, stay in your job, stay to your workplace, concentrate on what you're supposed to be concentrating.
Deputy RCC Anderson Burora of Rubaga Division assures security for those in the right places at the right time. He urges NUP leadership to abide by the laws governing the country and calls on the youth to act responsibly and resist manipulation.
We understand that every citizen has a right to participate, to express, to associate. However, if your expression and association goes against the law, or it goes against the order that is required, I think that is no longer an expression.
Deputy RCC Yasin Ndide of Kawempe appeals to the public to maintain peace and assure security for all Ugandans.
Manyi bw'ogenda okutta emmese mu nnyumba yo totaliza yaggwako. Olunaku lw'enkya ne bw'oba mukulembeze mu kitiiki ne bw'oba ani kasita onaabanga weetantadde okutawaanya eddembe ery'omulala ekinakukolebwako tojja kyagala tujja kutwala nga gwe tutamanyi.
Mark Belingana of Makinde Division urges the youth to refrain from unruly behavior and encourages the public to continue with their normal activities despite social media rumors suggesting tomorrow could be a public holiday due to the return of no President Robert Kyagulanyi.
Mulekerawo okumalako abantu emirembe era abantu b'e Makinde Division enkya si public holiday, enkya mukeere mukole emirimu gyammwe.
Justin Nakami in Kampala.
Traders in Kampala and its surrounding areas are expressing concerns about the return of NUP President Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, expected to arrive at Entebbe Airport tomorrow. Their unease stems from Kyagulanyi and NUP supporters' ongoing plans to gather and welcome him at Entebbe Airport, which they fear might disrupt their businesses.
This group includes traders operating in arcades and various markets in Kampala, who are urging the security forces not to permit NUP President Robert Kyagulanyi to enter the city centre, accompanied by his supporters upon his return from his visit.
Our business, we as the youth of Uganda, we are tired, we want democracy, we want peace in our country. So we are asking the government of Uganda to rescue our business.
Mbera nnyo ku social media bwe bankunga ogenda okwekalakaasa ku lunaku lw'enkya emmere n'agijjawa oba ebibiina n'abisasuza kinze siina musajja abaana bange nze embeera birira nga single mother. Omuntu mukulu ebyobufuzi bikoma mu kampeyini muleme tuletera byabufuzi gavumenti tuyambe otekewo security tebayingira mirimu gyaffe.
Displaying placards bearing various messages, they were joined by leaders at various levels, setting aside political differences.
Ebyobufuzi mu Kampala ab'ebyobufuzi bonna tusaba gavumenti etuyambe etereko security ab'ebyobufuzi babafundire ekisaawe oba Nambole oba mu Lwera batali bantu bakolere ebintu byabwe ebyobufuzi.
The traders are appealing to the police and other security operatives not to allow Kyagulanyi to enter the state center, as they believe it could disrupt business activities and lead to damages and losses.
No one is going to interfere our businesses because most people, they have told them to close their businesses, which we cannot allow because this government, we have been in corona lockdown for a long period. The economy is down, so if we close our business tomorrow, how are we going to survive as the youth of Uganda? So we are calling up the government of Uganda to restore our business tomorrow, and we are telling all the youth of Uganda, please, you go and work. Singa wabera wakavuyo konna mu kibuga fe abasubuzi tulina ensimbi ez'obupangisa nnyingi tusasula emisolo n'ebiringa ebyo. Singa wabera wakavuyo mu Kampala tugenda kubanga tufiirwa, bizinesi zaffe zigenda kuggalawo n'okubbibwa. Bannange temukkiriza Bobi Wine kuva Ntebe kulinnya ku luguudo luno. Mutukolere nga luli bannange bwatuuka ku airport kasite ekirungi ti abatasibiddwa bamutwale ewuwe.
It's worth noting that before Kyagulanyi traveled to the United States and Canada, the police had suspended his activities of traversing the country due to various scandals. They had also warned NUP members not to disturb the peace of others. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but we'll return with more stories after these messages.
Water, please. Can I pay with Momo? No. Ha. Hey, can I pay with Momo? Ha.
Here's our merchant code.
Oh, very good.
7 mega?
20. Can I pay with Momo?
Unfortunately, no.
Ha. Baby, let's go.
When paying with MTN Momo comes with more benefits for everyone, it just doesn't make sense not to have it.
Hello, I've come for it.
Can I pay with Momo?
Yes, you can.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Tata ni Mama Sarah.
Wanji?
We did all we could. Naye we couldn't save her. I'm sorry. You brought her in very late. Malaria destroyed her organs and reduced her blood levels. She was anemic. You know how dangerous malaria is. I am sorry, but malaria has killed your daughter.
Malaria kills more people in Uganda than any other disease. Protect your loved ones from this enemy. Ensure everyone in your family sleeps under a mosquito net every night, whether it's a cold or hot season, to protect them from malaria. In the event that any of your family members shows malaria signs and symptoms, take them to the nearest health center immediately to prevent complications from malaria that could result into death. Together, we can chase malaria out of Uganda. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Global Fund.
So, you are ready to invest in Airtel's initial public offering? Good choice. I'm going to show you how to do it straight from your phone. First, you're going to want to make sure you have a Securities Central Depository SCD account. Dial *185*85# from your Airtel number. Choose Airtel IPO purchase from the available options. Enter your valid national identification number when prompted. Before you purchase, there are a few things you need to know. The minimum purchase is 2,500 shares. The share price is 100 Uganda shillings. Select the number of shares you wish to purchase. Choose your relevant broker for the purchase. Enter your Airtel Money PIN to confirm the transaction. Congratulations! You receive a confirmation message of your successful purchase.
In this family, we can't agree on anything.
Martha.
We can't even agree on what to watch. All the games to play.
Martha.
Ndoza Mulabi, we can't even agree on what to eat. At least the one thing for now we can all agree on is the soap to use. He likes that it's big and lasts long. Anti-economy. I like that it keeps my skin smooth. Ate alina echovu. And the children like that. It smells amazing. Everyone is happy. Movit soap comes in 4 fantastic flavors. Movit family soap is truly soap for the whole family.
Movit. All day confidence.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or shore pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Uganda is a source, transit, and destination for adults and children who are either forced or deceived into forced labor, organ harvest, sacrifice, and commercial exploitation. Trafficking in persons is a serious crime and gross violation of human rights. Report suspects of trafficking in persons to police for investigation and prosecution. Suspects are either close friends or relatives. Victims of trafficking are not criminals and need protection. This message is brought to you by the Coordination Office for Prevention of Trafficking in Persons, Ministry of Internal Affairs.
Welcome back from that break, and we're glad that you're still with us on UBC News Tonight. In more news, the committee tasked with organizing the 61st Independence Celebration in Kitgum, led by the Permanent Secretary to the Office of the President, Haji Yunus Kakande, has confirmed that preparations are proceeding smoothly. They also expect the arrival of a minister from the United Arab Emirates who has been invited by the President. However, unlike previous celebrations, this time, some usual exhibitions such as fighting jets, armed fighter vehicles and aircraft will not be displayed.
In the 61 years since gaining independence from the British, Uganda has achieved many milestones, although there are still areas facing challenges.
Had very few schools by that time. Now we have UPE, USE. Museveni's government has at least done something.
The NRM government has tried. We cannot say that it's 100%, but there is, at least if you are putting on percentages, you can say that 60%, 65%.
This year, the government has chosen to celebrate the day in Kitgum, and Permanent Secretary Haji Yunus Kakande has confirmed that preparations are in their final stages to ensure a colorful occasion.
I've already mobilized the people who are going to attend. We shall feed the general public on this function.
During the 35 years in power, National Resistance Movement has successfully reinstated peace in the northern region, constructed roads, buildings and schools, although challenges like poverty still exist.
He has come out to empower people through government programs. We have different government programs.
Kakande urged Ugandans to reflect on the achievements attained by the NRM government, especially in stabilizing the country as they celebrate 61 years of independence.
They should not take for granted the peace this country has enjoyed for the last almost 40 years.
Speaking to the State Minister of Lands, Sam Mayanja, it was revealed that in the 61 years since independence, the country still faces land problems, particularly in the central region, stemming from the 1900 Buganda Agreement.
For the comprehensive law, which will now finally give all Ugandans titles, land titles, and provide them with security of tenure in perpetuity.
This year's Independence Day will be held under the theme, Sustaining a United and Progressive Nation, taking charge of our future as a free nation. I'm Navka Farida and Joseph Moyingo.
The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Water and Environment, Alfred Okidi, has emphasized the vital role of stakeholders' active participation in water-related issues during the Uganda Water and Sanitation Network Annual Civil Society Organization Forum. He urged the private sector to integrate water support into corporate social responsibility programs.
Concern over low reporting rates impacting national and global awareness of water issues. He highlighted the governance role of civil society organizations and encouraged non-government organizations to manage funds responsibly.
When I hear that only 50% of the members have reported, it affects the overall national and global reporting of what is happening in the country. Data is important, reporting is a must for CSOs. One of the conditions of your registration is to ensure that you report what you are doing.
Dr. Kalisti Tindimugaya, the Commissioner of Water Resources, Planning, Regulation from the Ministry of Water and Environment, emphasized water's interconnectedness with the well-being and outlined Sustainable Development Goal number 6 targets.
When you look at education, most of the girls leave school when sanitation facilities are poor, when they cannot be at school, when they cannot have those facilities. Some schools we find that they are spending hours lining up to use even 1 pit latrine. So again, they need also water. If you don't have water, even for washing.
Dr. Kalist urged cooperation with neighboring countries, considering Uganda's reliance on shared water sources.
We have revised the national water policy to try and strengthen partnerships. We feel that the government needs to open up space to work with the private sector, work with the civil society, work with the cultural institution, religious institutions, civil society, the media, and everybody. We feel we cannot move forward without getting everybody on board, and we already have programs.
Yunia Igamsazi, Executive Director of OWASNET, underscored civil society organizations' significant role in coordinating with the government and independently verifying information.
Statistics have been shared, and I'll just mention a few. The fact that out of every 10 households, only 7 households have access to clean water. And
in the 2022-2023 financial year, civil society organizations secured a substantial 108 billion investment, emphasizing collaboration, innovation, and partnerships with the private sector to address water and sanitation challenges, with a focus on community involvement and advocacy for government responsiveness. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Thank you, Sudat Kaye. Now, Uganda Airlines is gearing up for the launch of its maiden flight from Entebbe to Lagos, Nigeria this October. This route aims to explore new markets, boost enterprise competitiveness, catalyze industrial growth, and attract foreign direct investment. The Business Forum highlighted the importance of maximizing opportunities created by improved flight connectivity, particularly in sectors such as oil, gas, agriculture, investments, tourism, textiles, and music.
As in Uganda, Nigeria are preparing for the launch of the direct route between Entebbe and Lagos. Delivering her opening remarks, the UNDP country representative asked delegates from both countries to leverage on the Africa Continental Free Trade Area as a key driver of intra-African trade and sustainable development.
We need to invest in connectivity and high-quality infrastructure that delivers goods and services, and therefore the availability, accessibility, and affordability of high-quality and sustainable transport infrastructure lies at the heart of trade, especially cross-border trade. What is very crucial is that to be able to take advantage of this route, we need to build the capacity of small and medium-scale enterprises to harness the full potential of this expanding trade.
The launch of the Entebbe-Lagos route is poised to create an air bridge that connects West Africa to East Africa, overcoming connectivity challenges in the region.
Our operation to Lagos
creates an air bridge to West Africa that breaks a cross-connectivity pattern that impedes swift interconnectivity in East Africa. Africa is underserved in terms of air transport. We only look at 22% of connectivity by air, and it's very expensive on the continent. Sometimes you get off the continent to come back to the continent from Uganda. And it's extremely exciting that Uganda Airlines is starting to bridge that gap.
A journey of about 10 hours has now been reduced to 4 hours, Entebbe to Lagos.
Uganda Airlines is deploying its A330-800 new aircraft on this route, featuring 258 seats and tons of cargo space. The forum emphasized the importance of maximizing the potential created by improved flight connectivity.
Now, Uganda Airlines has opened the route, trade should come in, tourism should come in, and all the other people to do their piece so that together we can capture this market.
Audrey Krabogo, the chairperson of the Presidential Advisory Committee on Exports and Industrial Development, highlighted that there is a need to create an ecosystem to enable businesses to trade and scale.
It's pretty sad when you are fighting a war and you are shooting yourself in the foot. We shouldn't do that. Huh? We shouldn't speak of AFCTA and then keep visas for DRC, keep visas. You are fighting on the periphery. There is no amount of money that comes from visas that can build an economy. It's people-to-people exchange.
Uganda is poised to unlock a vast market with over 200 million people in Nigeria, spanning sectors such as oil and gas, agriculture, investments, tourism, textile, and music. Samuel Senono and Juman Samba for UBC TV News.
The government has been urged to empower agriculture researchers, enabling them to develop high-quality seeds that can yield crops meeting international market standards. This call to action emerged during the launch of the Integrated Grain Handling Project for rural communities in Uganda.
The Integrated Grain Handling Project for Rural Communities in Uganda is a 4-year program designed to address emerging issues faced by farmers, particularly those related to post-harvest handling.
So what we're trying to promote in the GMDP project are simple, affordable technical solutions for addressing the issue of producing good quality maize. In that way, you can cut out the middlemen, you can sell directly to the off-takers and get a much higher price for your produce. When we leave, we have set up 25 working drying facilities in villages. Hopefully also some milling, stone milling facilities and seed and cleaning milling facilities. But basically 25 units across Uganda so people can come and see. And
the program specifically targets organized farmer groups and aims to provide support in various areas, including the supply and installation of post-harvest cleaning and drying equipment, with capacity ranging from 6.5 to 40 metric tons of maize per day. It also includes whole grain milling and farmer seed cleaning, among other components.
Improve the rural livelihood in Uganda, and the supporting commercial objective is to try and create one-stop centers, to create hubs in villages where all the 4 key challenges can be addressed. So by introducing technologies within drying, cleaning, seed cleaning and storage.
However, there is a pressing need to provide farmers with high-quality seeds, which in turn will contribute to high-quality yields.
Because farmers don't get reliable and very quality seed in time. Okay, so that distortion in the villages distorts us when we want to purchase, when they are about to harvest or when they harvest. Scientists help us, give us the varieties that can give us good yield per acre.
Inadequate data in agriculture is hindering proper planning for the sector.
Who knows how many farmers in Mumbere are producing maize such that it informs my either putting a facility there or taking trucks that side. We end up just throwing trucks They're just looking for grain, no data, no nothing, no evidence. Insurance companies want data, nobody is giving data. Colleagues, we need data, we need evidence. This thing of guesswork in agriculture is affecting us.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
UBC News Tonight. Now, in an effort to enhance learning conditions for children in school, ATC Uganda launched a signature classroom block, a project constructing classroom blocks for deserving communities across the country. This initiative aims to ensure that children have access to quality learning infrastructure and a conducive study environment.
The initiative by the American Tower Company Uganda is hailed as a new dawn of hope and progress for education in the West Nile region and key in shaping the bright minds of learners.
It's actually our city school. We want to see what we can do quickly to do facial lift for all these classrooms. And I know we can together put our hands together and do more. Thank you, Chair. I gave seedlings to every school. DO, I was dealing with you. And I want to pray and believe that Oriagini has planted more than 10,000 seedlings.
St. Paul II Oriagini Primary School in Terego District in West Nile region is a beneficiary. The Chief Executive Officer, American Tower Company Uganda, emphasizes the organization's commitment to the communities it serves.
And over and above that, we are committed to supporting the communities in which we operate, with our main focus being education and health. As you can see here, we support our education to create our future leaders and empower them.
Established by parents in 1946, the school of 1,808 pupils and 22 teaching staff suffers from infrastructure gaps. The newly constructed classroom block replaces tents and dilapidated structures and will enhance the learning experience for both the pupils and their teachers.
And now into business. Police are currently conducting an investigation into Capital Chicken, a prominent company that has been accused of defrauding its clients of substantial sums of money. Capital Chicken, known for its operations on Chanjocha Street in Kamwocha, was primarily involved in poultry farming on behalf of its clients. Many individuals had entrusted their capital with the company with the promise of receiving interest after a period of 4 to 5 months. Luke Owesijire, the deputy police spokesperson for Kampala Metropolitan, has revealed that a significant number of clients have filed complaints regarding this matter.
On a recent visit to Capital Chicken's offices on Kanjocha Street, it was discovered that a note had been posted on the gate stating that the management had left for a staff team building session on the 29th of September 2023. Since then, the offices have remained closed and the known phone numbers associated with the company are currently switched off. This sudden closure has left over 2,000 clients who have invested their capital with Capital Chicken in a state of uncertainty with no clear information regarding their investments.
Some of the rules within the agreement, they say on the third day, after investing for 5 months, like me, I'll give an example. I had to get my money on third. Yeah, that was yesterday. So there is that bit in the agreement that by third, you'll get your money.
Capital Chicken had solicited funds from various individuals under the guise of capital investment for poultry, promising returns on their investments. At the time of its closure, the company had amassed capital estimated to be in the billions.
I sensed 2 weeks ago when a friend of mine sent something on WhatsApp, and that document was showing that the owners of Capital Chicken were jailed 6 times. I don't know which years.
Many clients who had placed their trust in the company have now resorted to camping at its offices, seeking assistance to no avail.
Twadde tuzireta mu cash ne batuwa risiiti zino bintu byonna byonna ng'obeera obirabira ddala byonna nga biriko stampu nga.
Police Deputy Spokesperson for Kampala Metropolitan, Luke Owesigire, has reported that 21 people have officially filed complaints and the case is actively under investigation.
To open up cases after after investing money to a tune of 1 billion, which they claim the chicken company took and has blocked, and they cannot longer access their money. Investigations are ongoing. We shall avail you more details as soon as possible.
Unfortunately, similar companies taking advantage of desperate Ugandans have been involved in swindling billions of shillings. Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
Now in more news, Dr. Eugene Ruzagire, a government scientist at the Uganda Virus Research Institute in Entebbe, is urgently calling on relevant government agencies to intervene in the case of his damaged house due to the collapsed perimeter wall of his neighbor. He claims to have sought help from various officers, including the police, but no one was able to help.
Currently, there are only 3% of farmers that embrace the usage of solar in agriculture in Uganda, leaving about 97% entirely dependent on handheld equipment and rain-fed agriculture.
Solar technologies are, at the moment, the most cost-effective way to produce in agricultural sector in the context of climate change. A farmer who adopts solar technologies will do much better than the one who doesn't. Let me just give you an example. Last week I was in Tanzania, and they are deploying drip irrigation systems on quarter of an acre. A Tanzanian is able to produce 12 million Tanzanian shillings. So if you're going to depend on rain and do your agriculture, you'll harvest 4 times in a given year.
It's on this backdrop that a multi-stakeholder co-creation engagement has been held in Kampala. Participants are optimistic that through such sessions, access to the latest agri-solar technologies for the farmers will be enhanced.
The context of today's conversation is around, look, climate change is happening. Climate change will affect productivity of farmers. How do we prepare our farmers today to be able to navigate and mitigate for these changes that are inevitable? So from that perspective, across the different mixes of energy that are possible, we've identified solar as a potentially catalytic interventional technology that we think, if we're able to get down to as many farmers as possible, should not only prepare them to navigate the growing changes that we're seeing from a climate perspective, but should also boost their productivity.
With most of new technologies and support available in Kampala, scaling up to the last mile farmer in rural Uganda is the goal.
So the companies really struggle to move to these areas. The banks also struggle to give loans to a farmer because, a farmer doesn't earn a salary every month, right? They earn maybe depending on the harvest and all this. So it needs to be done differently, and this is what the project is really helping.
This engagement is themed increasing access to affordable financing to drive adoption and use of solar technologies towards increased smallholder farmer productivity in key agricultural value chains. Marion Awori, UBC.
Now, my sincere apologies. The story that you just watched was the story of the stakeholders in the solar and agricultural sectors who collectively engaged to identify actionable solutions, strategies, and tactical approaches towards increasing the access of affordable financing of solar technologies in agriculture. And now into sports. As the search for Coach Mitchell's replacement continues, the Federation of Uganda Football Associations, FUFA, has named a technical team of 4 people for an interim period of 1 month running from the 3rd to the 31st of October 2023. The team has Moli Biekwaso Ochama as interim head coach, Fred Muhumuza as interim assistant coach, Stephen Billy Chegundo, interim goalkeeping coach, and Felix Ayobo, interim fitness coach, will take charge of the Uganda Cranes during the international break this month, where the team will play 2 games against Mali on the 13th of October in Bamako and Zambia in Dubai, UAE on the 17th of October 2023. Now, Moli Biekwaso Chama started his duties by naming a squad of 28 players who will enter the presidential camp on Friday the 6th of October at Paradise Hotel in Kisasi. On the women's side, Uganda Under-20 women's national team coach Ayub Khalifa has named the final squad that will travel to Mozambique ahead of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifiers. The squad named 20 players with 3 goalkeepers, 6 defenders, 6 midfielders, and 5 forwards, with popular names being Margaret Kunihira, Catherine Nagadia, Fiona Nabulime, and Kevin Nakachwa. The Queen Cranes will take on Mozambique at the first preliminary round, with the first leg slated for the 7th of October at Capo da ABB Motola Stadium. And with more sports news, the national ladies rugby team, the Lady Cranes, is set to travel to Tunisia for the Africa Women's Rugby. The 2 days event, set for the 14th of this month, acts as the Olympic qualifier fact Uganda is giving its priority that it deserves. The team is into training for the games, with the confirmation of sharing a group with South Africa, Tunisia, and Zimbabwe. The other group has Madagascar, Kenya, Zambia, and Ghana.
The travel fatigue with the players, and then the weather is also not so friendly, but some of the players now have gone there a couple of times, so they are used to the weather conditions. But the pitch is the same pitch that we're going to use, but I believe the majority have been there, and we still just carry on from where we stopped the last campaign. As we are naming the final team, we based on the input of the girls. So it's been 4 months of preparation, so to do their jobs, and there's someone doing it better, you zero down to the people that are doing their job. So it's a tough one. Some people have been putting in the shift and improving, but
well, that wraps it up on tonight's UBC News Tonight. Thank you so much for your company. And now, on behalf of the team working tirelessly behind the scenes, we want to thank you and we want to wish you a good night. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto and Elizabeth Nakakoni on Sign Language. We wish you a good night, but do not forget to watch the biggest show in the land, that is Behind the Headlines, with Timothy Nyangweso. I'm sorry about that. You do not want to miss out an exciting topic that is coming up, so don't miss out the show at 10 p.m. Good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Uncle, you should see London.
Oh, my boy. It has been 5 years. You should see Uganda.
Yes. Uncle Marcus, huh? That's my former school.
Soon there will be more than 1 million children learning like this for free.
Thank you, Uganda, for imagining it with us and making it the fastest growing telecom in the country over the past 5 years.
Are you a lady in the film industry? Tassos Films invites you to the Business Summit for Women in Film at the